The final series. We are in the round robin, everybody. The final series, all direct pass, and we got Team HasuObs against Team Hlopaka. And well, as it turns out, this is going to be the one that decides which team makes it into the playoffs and which team drops out. So I personally expected when we started with the round robin that we would end up in a scenario where the final few matches don't matter anymore. And now we have basically the exact opposite. These teams are dead even right now. I mean, dead even. Both of them have lost 2 matches and won 2 matches. And both of them have a map score of -1 right now. And Hlopaka's team fought pretty hard for that particular outcome. They really struggled in the first matches that they played in the tournament, and now they brought it back. I mean, they started very late into the round robin in the first place, but now they really crawled their way back to it, and they just came off a victory against Team Sven, where initially they were down. They were 0-1, and then won 2 maps in a row, turned the entire thing on its head, and now get to a point where they themselves can win it if they beat Team HasuObs, and whoever loses here again drops out of the tournament. Now, in case you're not really familiar with the format, we have 6 teams in total. We play a full round robin in the first phase, and the top 4 teams advance to the playoffs. The bottom 2 teams will be eliminated. The teams that qualified first were Team Disciple and Team Dino. Team Sven is confirmed as one of the teams in the playoffs as well. And now we're going to determine the final one. And the one team that has already been eliminated is Team Sedaf. So here in Alderac Pass, our first map in the best of 3 series, we have an early pick into Blaze. As I said before, he is still one of the most impactful side laners. He's the hero that was played the most so far and has a very significant win rate, hovering between 65 and 70%. So quite strong for how many times he was played. Now we get Hanzo and Rhaegar for the blue team. And this is actually the first game of the blue team today. So they haven't played today. They've played some warm-up games, they've checked things out. They were able to watch, of course, as Team Hlopaka was playing, and were able to prepare and also get a closer look on what exactly the red team prefers as their picks. But the one advantage that the red team has is that they were actually able to go through the motions, and they're really in their zone right now. These days I'm always a little bit worried when I see an Anubarak pick, because I can understand why you would take him on Alderac Pass. We've gone over multiple times, many times in the past, of how you can sneak in the objective on Alderac if your opponent doesn't pay attention to where Anubarak is. So you can apply additional pressure by just, trying to like cheese the prisoner camp. But Anubarak in general does not have the best track record. He's really fallen off as a tank. Now, obviously, playstyle matters a lot. You want to be the engager. If you play with Anubarak, you want to be the team that really drives the fight and just starts in the first place. They have a lot of tools to accommodate for that too, and can always follow up on an Anubarak stun with Blaze, for example. So if you drive it past, let's say, Rhaegar that you cocooned, you can do a lot here. But as I said, the just raw numbers for Anubarak are not really the best. So on the left, the blue team now with their next quick pick. We got Tracer already eliminated as well. So no chance for her to be taken. But, well, let's see. I mean, I'm curious. I honestly want to see who makes it here. Hlopaka's team was a bit on a roll right now, and particularly the last 2 maps that they played were amazing. But here we now have Svamgrota on Chen. We get Muradin for Johan from the looks of it. And that leaves us with Gavlo, who likes to be last pick for the team. You can go for Genji, of course, here and make it a brotherly duo with Hanzo. But Ultralisk, that's the other one. I mean, even Maiev is a possibility. If they want to go for a triple frontline, we've seen a lot of Thrall, we've seen a little bit of Maiev. So they could make some plays there. There's Thrall, and we have Malfurion together with that. Okay. Yeah. Not a bad lineup. Very aggressive. If they can run the show with it, then fantastic. And we get our last pick for map number 1 in the best of 3. Again, the final match in the round robin. After this, we're going to move into the playoffs. It's obviously time for the best of 5s. But here on Alderac Pass, what do we get? Gavlo, the final pick, together with Hanzo. They need another damage dealer, and it is Abathar. Alright, we are off to the party. Abathar and Fat Illidan on the blue team side. This should be a fun one. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Game number 1. Alderac Pass. Yeah, it's a little bit snowy over here. Very much so the opposite of what we're experiencing in Spain right now, and Europe in general, I suppose. It's summertime, baby. Oh, yeah. On the left side, it is the Slug.
Hail to the king, baby.
Ready to slap the opposition. We got Johan as well. He's playing Muradin. And we got Hunter Orc on Rega with Gavlon, Hanzo, and then Swamgrotta on Chen. Over on the right side of the map, it is Team Hlopaka with Death Knight playing Malfurion. We got Hireth on Blaze, Hlopaka the captain on Junkrat, Play on Anubarak coming in with a Regeneration Master as a level 1 choice. And Ultralisk is playing good old Thrall once again. Hail to the War Chief. Green Moses or Green Jesus. So, this is gonna be for all the marbles. Like, I mean, again, from the get-go, I expect that the teams are playing, initially at least, a little bit passive. Just testing the waters, dipping their toe in. Not too aggressive, because this is mega important right now. I mean, this is gonna be the one that decides which teams makes it to the playoffs and for which team the tournament is over. Thrall down at the bottom of the map. Also, we will name and shame whoever is first blood here. This is an important series. Somebody has to do it. So whoever ends up being first blood because he's careless, because he got ganked, because he was maybe making some weird moves. The cat attacked the mouse. Like, whatever it was. Doesn't really matter. But we will name and shame that person. And he can then redeem himself later. Or just buy a couple of beers for the rest of the team. And that will, of course, then end that redemption arc. So there we go. So imagine picking your nose all of a sudden and getting killed because of that. This is why we need cameras on all of the players, for exactly that. But yeah, no kills so far, just a couple of camps being taken. Obviously the mid lane camps, mega important when you're playing on Alderac Pass. Objective isn't up yet either. We can have a Nubarak trying to sneak it with a couple of beetles. So this is one of the things that could happen here. But time to see who's going to get ahead here. Swamgrotta already jumping around a little bit. And, well, with Chen, he gets just poofed around. Maybe stunned again. Nope. Still fine here. Abathar has now gone on level 4 into the Adrenal Overlord. So pretty much a typical build that he would like to see from him. And Chen is going... I mean, there's a couple of targets actually for a Symbiote. Chen obviously is fantastic because he can really latch onto a target. But with Muradin, you have a similar situation where Muradin alone, especially with Skullcracker, the auto-attack boost is so fantastic when you're just coming in and you're getting one mini-stun after another. So you can do a lot with that. And survivability for Muradin is also massive. So, yeah, there's a lot that's going on there. But then again, we have... very few regeneration globes taken by Nubarak so far. And if you go Regeneration Master, you kind of want to speed that up a little bit. I mean, it's a quest reward that you're really out for. You want to make sure that you get that extra HP. So the health regeneration is obviously nice. But again, it is that extra boost that you are really looking for so that you can be a little bit more beefy in those team fights, survive more. Spray game on point, by the way. Miliki. But talking about a Nubarak is already getting attacked over there and has to slowly fall back, but play is still totally fine. But 3 minutes in and you have a single globe. Not really the best track record, let's just put it like that. Hanzo with the ignore all distractions, and we got also redemption on level 1. As both of the teams are starting to make a few moves here. Yeah, well, they could actually get the early channel, because the blue team is now pushing down at the bottom of the map. The problem, obviously, for Team HasuObs is that they have Abathar here, and while that in and of itself is, of course, a huge win, because Abathar is awesome, it also means that until level 10, you only have 4 hit point bars in all of those fights, and that can become a little bit of an issue. Now, level 7 is in just a little bit faster for the blue team. But the objective is about to be taken. If they get a few reinforcements in, they should be able to buy themselves a bit more time. But nope, it is Muradin that grabs it back. 8 seconds remaining, or they would have been able to claim it. Abathar also committed to the attack at the top. So far, not a single kill over here. No kill just yet. Push in the middle. I'm happy to report that Anubarak found a second globe somewhere. They're missing all of the stuns on the other hand. And Muradin hammers in a Stormbolt right after. For Thrall, not bad on level 4. So Ultralisk is getting extremely close to grabbing himself his quest reward. And complete this one. And they're also trying... Oh, Hanzo missing it. And that should be the objective for them. Yeah, that should be an easy one right there. Chen is at the top. Stormbolt again. And that's the first objective. So nicely done by Team Hlopaka. This is honestly what they were supposed to do. To grab themselves the first objective in the game. But let's see how much they actually get with it. I mean, you gotta get something with those plays. Thrall, talking about plays. Still not quite done with his level 4 yet, so he still needs another connect. And let's see if he can pull that off. In an ideal world, you obviously want somebody else to tee it up for you. Get a quick stun with the jet propulsion, get maybe a Nubarok stunning somebody out so that you don't lose those stacks again. But yeah, they're already starting to move in here. And Thrall, is he going to go for it? He's low, and he hits the wolf. Absolutely on point with that bad boy. Nicely done. So Ultralisk completes the quest. Doesn't lose the stacks again. We have the top side now being pushed here in the middle. They're opening at least the wall up. Abathur's already repositioning slightly towards the back of the fort. That's down at the bottom of the map. This one is going to take some damage. Yep. Rhaegar is immediately getting attacked, but that fort at the bottom of the map is taking some serious damage here and will probably be down to roughly 50% of its HP. Up at the top lane, they're pressuring the next wave and are trying to go for Chen too. But we will, of course, get soon the copy for Abathur. And as expected, here's of course Skullcracker. That's a big one if you're going for Abathur because of the increased attack speed and the added hits and stuns that he can get together with that. We're now at level 10, 6 minutes in, and haven't seen a single hero die yet. This is pretty much exactly in line with what I said earlier, that I expect them to play this extremely safe and not too aggressive, which can sometimes, of course, also be a problem. I mean, think about how Team Hlopaka played a lot of the maps that they had against Sven. They were massively aggressive, really trying to get the kills. But it was also them just going for a bit of a Hail Mary. Now we have in the middle Gavlo and the Ancestral. Yeah, nicely done by Rhaegar. That was a good move by Hunter Hawk. Saving his damage dealer. But yeah, the ults are all out. Most of them. Junkrat is actually holding this back. There's no way he's going Rocket Ride, is there? If he goes Rocket Ride, that would be awesome. That would be funny as hell. They're trying for some isolation. Thrall, Ultralisk. Who's the first one to fall? Is it Thrall? And it is. Named and shamed. What a feeder. Total noob right there. Oh my god, he's losing it for the team. Report him. Report him now. Literally unwinnable. GG, go next. Ultralisk, the first blood after 7.5 minutes. Nicely done by Team HasuObs. Bit unfortunate there for Thrall. But yep, well done. And Junkrat has still not taken his ult. I am honestly quite suspicious at this point of what we're going to see here. If we're going to get Rocket Ride, I mean, it would be fun. I would love it. Not sure if it's the best choice here, but hey, if they think that they can make a move with it, I'm not one of them to complain. So, yeah, they're trying to go for the next objective. Still a bit of a leading experience for the blue team. Once again, spawn those beetles. And all of those footmen are distracted. They all have ADHD, seriously. All those footmen is like, yeah. Oh, look, a squirrel. So with that, we're now having topside. Thrall trying to go up against Chen. I mean, honestly, he's going up against the minions first, and I understand the decision. If you already failed as a player because you got killed first, then going up against other players might be a little bit too much to ask from you. So going up against minions just to get back some confidence is absolutely understandable. I support that decision. Now they're trying to go for the counter kill here. And they go for Chen! The arrow in the back and a quick Ancestral. So, yeah. Where is that Sundering? I mean, Ultralisk, you're gonna get roasted until you redeem yourself. I want to see some big plays right now. The redemption arc of Ultralisk is the one thing we really need here. We get a Riptire, by the way. No Rocket Ride. I mean, honestly, this should be a yellow card right there. You can't tease the audience like this and promise something beautiful and then just give us another Riptire. There's that play! And there's maybe even a kill. Nah, Ultralisk still sucks. Couldn't get the kill. Now another attempt by him. Eats that Stormbolt. Oh, if he dies again. Oh, boy. But they're trying to go for Gavlo here. They're turning on Muradin. The mule is out. And after repairing the one at the bottom, they're now going for the fort in the middle and try and repair it. What about Ultralisk? There's the Keck play as they're isolating Death Knight. And he gets put into a corner. And he dies. And so does Muradin. But Malfurion died last. So that means that he's now going to get roasted. Ultralisk, you're officially off the hook. Malfurion, I mean, seriously, what a shitty hero in the first place. And then he's played by such a noob. So, of course, there is absolutely no way they're getting anything out of that hero. No value whatsoever. But they are trying to go for kills here right now. They burned the copy down, and now they're going for the next one. It's a 4 versus 4 as they're trying to go for it. Malfurion, by the way, is now respawning. Not that it's going to make a difference. I mean, he's going to be another buddy that the blue team can throw some abilities against. But he's not really helping them or anything. It's just a little bit of a sad puppet that is sitting in the back here. And that's all that he's good for. A distraction at best. Muradin now with the healing static right there. And, well, for now it's the blue team that is again on the prowl and hoping for an objective, with Chen now sitting down at the bottom of the map. But as we go, we got Hlopaka. Dude, you should be a little bit careful. I know that Malfurion is close to you, but it's not like he's going to help you. He's going to stab you in the back like he did his brother. That's exactly what's going to happen there. First he stole his girlfriend, and then didn't they imprison him too? I mean, seriously, what a shitty friend. If he's already such a shitty brother, imagine what a friend he is. It's absolutely horrendous. Now the play for Hunter though. Riptide. They can't get a kill there. But what about the top? They're trying to go for Gavlo. Hanzo, yeah. Oh, even the Cocoon really setting it up here. Yep, and can they get a kill? And indeed they can, because Hanzo sucks and so does Gavlo. Alright, we have a new rule here. Whoever dies last is going to get roasted until somebody else gets killed. That's just how it works now. New rules! My channel, my rules. So, they go for the camp, and the only reason they can go for the camp is because Hanzo is dead, because he's useless and doesn't help his teammates. It's really a sad situation, but if you pick an Overwatch hero, that's exactly what you deserve. So, yeah. Overwatch heroes are just shitty to begin with, and Hanzo is the worst of the bunch. Now they're trying to go for Rhaegar. They try to go for Hunter. Oh, he's about to escape, though. The bunker, but the objective is actually being channeled right now. Yeah, Muradin is coming back with a quick Stormbolt and is making his play right there. But it seems like the red team has an honest shot at getting this. They go for Muradin, and he dies. Of course he dies. I mean, he's budget Gimli. Gimli was already a huge disappointment in the movies, and Muradin is just a sad copy of exactly that. And if you're that short, of course you're not going to make it into that big team fight. He can barely look over the bush. That guy is just groveling earth, and that's it. So having him at the front line, all that the opponent has to do is step over him, and that's it. So Muradin is down, but Hanzo is back to business, and Hanzo is an amazing hero to have on your team. I mean, he's absolutely incredible. The damage numbers that we're getting from him. Gavlo, also fantastic player. But who really sucks, that's this Muradin guy. Camp is taken, so right now we have another set of the objective for the red team. Great job by them, by the way. So they did fantastic. They had currently another chance to take some of these forts out. And with Mule on the other side, they got to be careful. But then they have this Johan guy. I mean, look at the horse alone. I mean, even the horse is sad. That's one of the saddest and most pathetic horses I've ever seen in my life. Like, if your horse is already ghosting you... Fantastic joke, by the way. Why I've never made that before. If even your horse is ghosting you, something has to be wrong with you. So the first fort has fallen. Down at the bottom of the map, they're going for the second one. It's honestly Team Hlopaka in full swing right now. This is a super important series, and they're making a massive step ahead at this point. Top side fort is about to get destroyed too. They're taking all of them out. Honestly, they're crushing it. Now they want to go for Chen, and yeah, he just kicks away. Easy. Easy move back out from Chen as they're trying to escape here. Ultralisk eats the arrow, eats the damage, and escapes into the bunker together with Chen, sharing his space up there. Muradin is aimlessly looking to try and connect the storm, or at least something. He's just jumping in. He's like, I want to be useful. But he is not. And Chen, he makes it. The copy is gone. Chen is out. And Muradin dies again. Of course he dies again. Why did I ever expect anything else from you? Died in shame, as he should. Was trying to jump out, and honestly, when we're talking about Muradin and jumping, then we are actually being very generous here. He couldn't jump off the carpet if he tried. So now we have a boss taken up at the top, as Muradin is getting named and shamed even longer. Didn't even use his avatar. I don't care if it was still a cooldown at the time or not, but yeah, it's a disgrace here. So Legolas would be so disappointed. Now they go for Noob Rock, and I mean, it's even in the name. A noob got wrecked.
right there. Muradin, that's a tank, you know, that's an amazing tank, but this Anubarank guy, he just sucks. I mean, if you have beetles crawling out of your ass, what would you ever expect here? But there's Junkrat, another Overwatch scrub that is just getting murdered here. Great kill from Team HasuObs. They got a double kill, honestly, against the red team. So there's their redemption arc. They didn't go for the boss, but now at the top, the boss for the red team is still pushing.
Junkrat, they still have to wait for him. And that little crazy grenade launcher is still gone for another 30 seconds as we have the next move made by Team HasuObs. They're gonna come in and try and get the next kill. Yeah, well, here, maybe another move. Anubarak is back. Junkrat still missing. I mean, again, like with Anubarak, the junk is in the name already. He's laughing the entire time. And honestly, when Junkrat is laughing, he's essentially laughing at his own ineptitude and the bad plays that he's providing all day long. It's honestly just disgusting. But I'm a little bit surprised that this much damage has been allowed to be done at the top lane keep. Now, to be fair, they got Mule, so as long as they take down the boss there, they're going to be alright. The red team could technically try and maybe come in and, yeah, finish it off, but I don't think so. So there's a little Mule that could right there, chugging along, as Junkrat is once again pretending to do some actual work over here. We all know that it was actually Thrall that took the camp. Junkrat was just sitting at the side attempting to look good. I mean, that's a Gen Zer right there, honestly. When we talk about shit like quiet quitting, like, he is at the forefront. He's just sitting there lobbing some grenades around and then he's acting like he's helping. If friendly fire was a thing here, he can't even fucking aim. I mean, think about this for a second. If friendly fire was a thing, his own teammates would explode all over the place because the guy is just lobbing grenades around. Talking about not being able to hit a target. He needs to blow stuff up all day, every day. Level 20 is coming in now as well, so we get our Storm Talents, but a nice move at the bottom of the map from the blue team as they're going for the next fort. That's actually the first one that they took out. The objective, they're letting it go. Team HasuObs letting the objective go. They go for the boss instead. I'm not quite sure they can afford to do that. That keep at the top is still suffering. And yeah, I'm actually not quite sure by which part we should be offended the most when we're talking about Junkrat. Is it junk or is it the rat? I mean, either way, it's disgusting. That's also one of the reasons why he smells. It just is. That guy needs a shower if I've ever seen one. Where is someone like Jaina when you need him? Like, frost that guy. Seriously. 4 kills to 4. Now we got the boss moving at the bottom of the map. They cocoon Muradin. They want to go for him once again. And, well, oh, big arrow. Big sundering. The play for the back for Rega. And he gets the Ancestral through. Nicely done. Ancestral is out. Objective is on the way. Can they maybe even get a kill with it? Both teams now with level 20 talents, and already the top keep is starting to suffer. That would be the first armor shield that gets removed if they can take it down, and they really should be able to. Boss at the bottom of the map is currently being defended by the thingy. Not the cavalry. What is this thing called? The Raider. Exactly. That's what I was looking for. Junkrat distracted me because he was so ugly. So, by the Raider, but this top keep is 100% gone. And honestly, the one in the middle might be murdered as well. So, yep, that one is not looking too hot either. They're getting 2 keeps. Team Hlopaka, what has happened to this team? They had such a shitty start into this entire tournament, and now they're absolutely beasting it. It can't be Junkrat, because we all know he sucks. It must be the rest of the team. But now Muradin goes down. Gets killed by Junkrat, clearly the best hero and player on the red team side. Muradin, on the other hand, killing him isn't even an accomplishment. At this point, it's just something that happens. He's just an oversized minion to begin with, so not something that we should even point out here. I don't know why Blizzard even highlights that in any shape or form. The core, on the other hand, is about to go down, and that is game, as we have Team Hlopaka with a lead against Team HasuObs. What a sick start into the series here for the red team. GG. We're going to head straight into game number 2, but before we do, once again guys, if you enjoy the coverage on the channel here, if you enjoy the match, please like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. It also helps to boost the game to an even wider audience. And of course, it helps to get people back into Heroes of the Storm, as the algorithm recommends the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past. So again, before we continue, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Appreciate it. And with that, we're heading straight into the second map of the series. Team Hlopaka is in the lead, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to Infernal Shrines as our second map. And whew, the red team is... I mean, they are about to kick out Team HasuObs. So pretty impressive. I have to admit that when they started into the tournament, they were off to a very rough start, and it didn't really look like they would be a serious contender for a playoff spot. But they are now playing better and better and better, and it is a little bit impressive, so good on them. So we'll see what happens here. This is match point. If they win the map, they are in the playoffs. Again, whichever team wins the series is in the playoffs. There are no shenanigans anymore around like how many maps, certain scores. This is literally it. So at this point, if Team HasuObs loses one more map, they are out of the tournament. If they win the next two maps, then they make it. Whoever wins the series takes the final spot. We're going to Infernal Shrines, and map choice was made by Team Hlopaka, as the blue team decided that they wanted to have first pick, first ban. And yeah, after the last game, I mean, I am definitely ready for some action. You can always argue whether or not the Abathur pick was really the best choice to make here, but some of the coordination that we've seen from Team Hlopaka in game number 1 on All Direct Pass was actually pretty solid. And to be honest with you, the Nuburak pick worked out also much better than I expected, but grabbing 2 objectives was already a huge one. So right now we got Johan with Johanna. I mean, it's in the name right there, so that also takes it away from play. He obviously loves to play Johanna as well. And on Infernal Shrines is another fantastic pick, no matter who claims it. Sylvanas banned, Maiev banned, so that shuts down actually two of the picks that Ultralisk is oftentimes going for. But we get Blaze again, and we get Malfurion. Guys, these are literally 2 of the most played heroes in the tournament. Actually, they are the 2 most played heroes in the tournament at this point. There was a third that was somewhere up there with them as well. I can't really put my finger on it right now, but they have now overtaken them. So Blaze Malfurion is super powerful combo for a reason, of course, and their win rate is reflecting that as well. So just with that already mentioned, just from the data, statistically speaking, already a great start into the draft. But then you have Hlopaka, you have Junkrat, so really good choices here for Team HasuObs as well. Hlopaka gives you obviously the global, it gives you the AoE on the shrines, and if you have somebody that knows how to land a Tong, which is definitely something that Swarmgora can do here, then you will have also a lot of value out of that, so 100%. I mean, right now, great start for them, bit of poke from Junkrat from the outside too. And then we have a Deckard Cain banned out, so a little bit less potential control over the shrine area whenever we're heading into this. And there's pressure. There's quite a bit of pressure now on the blue team. Again, they lose, they're out. Can they force game 3? That's the first big question. And what exactly are they afraid of? Very likely they're going to ban something against either Ultralisk or Play. Maybe they are eliminating Diablo, for example. Still a great tool on Infernal Shrines. But they go for Hanzo. They take Hanzo out. And now the big question, what are we getting for the red team? When it comes to mages, Gul'dan would obviously still work pretty well here. As a general mage on this map, he is quite powerful. And with a good Horrify, you can do a lot. But you don't even have to go down the mage route if you don't really want to. We have seen Cassia picks here. You can go Greymane still. Genji is totally up for pickings. And I suppose technically you could also go into... well, there is Gul'dan. Okay, so that answers that question. Technically you could go into Tracer as well. But we've got Muradin, Blaze, and then Malfurion, Gul'dan with Ultralisk as so often the final pick or the final one for the team to make his choice. For the blue team, on the other hand, now that they know that they're up against Gul'dan and the Horrifier, how they're going to react here, they still need their own healer after... well, Deckard Cain was banned. And can combo that off with Gaflo. So, right wing. And we get Malthael. There's a triple front line right there. So we got Hlopaka, we got Jojo, and we got Malthael for the team. Whereas Team Hlopaka, still waiting for Ultralisk here. He's normally the one to play one of the more mobile assassins that he's going to try and use in those games. And I suppose this one... again, now that I think about it, they could also go into a couple of sneaky plays. Ultralisk could play at some point later on Medivh. Maybe not necessarily here, but I keep forgetting oftentimes that you can play heroes as many times as you want. We've seen him Medivh before. And he goes for Thrall again. So, yeah, Thrall also another one that gets played a ton and has a decent win rate too. So both teams now with a triple front line, as we have Blaze, Muradin, and Thrall for Team Hlopaka. It's match point. We're going into game number 2. Can Team HasuObs bring it back? Let's find out on Infernal Shrines. Let's go. Game number 2. Match point number 1 for the red team, as over on the left we have Hunter Orc on Brightwing. We get Gavlon Malthael for Team HasuObs, the captain on Junkrat, Svamgrotta on Dehaka, and Johan is playing Johanna. On the right side, Gul'dan, played by Hlopaka himself. The red team with Death Knight playing Malfurion. We got Ultralisk on Thrall, Erath on Blaze, and Play is playing Muradin. So I think this time we're going to do without the roast casting. But I gotta admit at least that this was a bit fun. So game number 1, if you enjoyed the roast casting there, then let me know in the comments on YouTube. Something that we could definitely do a little bit more often in the future. Not in every series, obviously. That would just be overdoing it quite a lot. But yeah, if you watch this on YouTube, definitely write a comment on if you enjoyed it or if you found it rather annoying. Either way, if you watch it there, hit the thumbs up button as well and sub to the channel if you haven't done it yet. It helps to spread the videos and the love and to grow the channel and give some love back to Heroes of the Storm, of course. We got a sucky build apparently. Look at that. I haven't seen that in a hot second. Chaotic Energy for Hlopaka on level 1. That's usually something that we've seen on Tomb of the Spider Queen quite a bit. Is he fully committing to that, or are we getting some kind of hybrid? But not what I expected. So yeah, Chaotic Energy on level 1. And I am very curious how much they're going to get out of that. With a triple front line, they can suck him dry. And Gul'dan turns into a succubus. So, top side, Blaze versus Dehaka, as you would expect there. But there is a lot on the line right now. Game number 1 started off a little bit slow and then absolutely exploded. It was more or less what we expected. The cautious start for both of the teams. And then just fireworks. But now that we're in game number 2, we'll see how they're going to play this one. The triple front line is already interesting in the first place, and then you have Malthael with Last Rites likely, and we're going to level 10. And yeah, there's obviously always the Horrify component from Gul'dan. It always depends on how Dehaka is going to make himself known in those fights, if they can come in from behind and get a quick drag on anybody. Down at the bottom now, a few more attacks are coming. So with that, we're now looking also at Gul'dan just getting more globes together and rotating between the lanes pretty quickly in order to make that happen. Mana management, just in general, obviously, going to be a huge one for them. And with that, yep, we get the commitment. Health funnel is already in. And yeah, this could be fun. This is a way more powerful build than a lot of people expect. At first, when it was just played a few times, it looked a bit memey. But you can get a lot of damage out and really do the works there with Gul'dan. We had a lot of Gul'dan players in this getting massive damage numbers. Now you don't have quite the same amount of AoE damage there, of course, but Gul'dan in general is a bit of an AoE machine, so he will still be able to contribute that during the shrine fights. And if we're talking about taking individual targets out, it's definitely going to help them a bit there. And against the lineup that has 3 melees already on it, that is going to help them. So they're trying to get Stormbolt, so any kind of stun in on the opponent's team. So far that hasn't worked out. But both teams now with their camp about to be claimed. And the Shrine is activating now, so this is the first one in the game. And it will be an important one for them too, because we're talking Frozen Punisher here. Red team still leaving Blaze at the top, so this is a bit of a problem, of course, that only one team has currently a global available here. Even Malfurion was waiting this out a bit longer before he makes his way down to the bottom of the map. 10 stacks currently for Gul'dan, so he doesn't have his quest reward yet. But they are not committing. They are instead just trying to go for some top lane pressure. So this is something that we of course have discussed in the past already. It's one of the moves that you can make. Muradin is going to try and slow any kind of rotation towards the top down. So they give up the objective. And they basically bank their hopes on them being able to do some damage and the opponent not being able to get too much out of the Punisher. Now they don't have a lot of tools where they can really fully exploit this, so the blue team will have a lead after this. Frozen Punisher in the first place is already quite powerful, but the defense is not too bad right now. But the wall is already lost and they are going to lose some hit points on the fort. The question is most of the time really just how much can you do at the end of the day. And as we already saw at the top, that wall has not lost too much. Oh, Brightwing comes in too. And there we go. Quick moves against Hunter Orc. Hlopaka is fine and survived. The Punisher at the bottom of the map is now about to be defeated, or has been defeated, but this fort is very, very low. So that's an early game win for Team HasuObs for sure. Not even the wall has been destroyed here. So structurally, definitely the blue team is now ahead. So good moves. Level 7 also gave us now the Curse of Exhaustion right there. And just that slow alone is also worth a lot when you're trying to really target one specific hero and take him down. So, they now go for Muradin, and play gets pooped around, still totally fine. Topside attack against Hlopaka. Yeah, Thrall has one stack and that's it, but they can at least take the wall out. The problem is that they're, of course, losing camps at the bottom of the map too. And experience, it's not too much of a gap. Blue team is a little bit ahead, but not by too much. So yeah, they're going to be fine here. And Gul'dan is now done with his level 1 quest, thanks to the globes that he gathered. So that means that now he is going to have a bit of an easier time with his mana management. But topside attack, quick Stormbolt, making sure that Malphite is not going to get too cheeky. And Blaze is retreating too. He was running low on mana anyway, so he has to hearth one way or another. But it's really more pressure coming now from the blue team. I mean, for sure. They go for Ultralisk, and he barely gets away. As Junkrat is maybe a tad late, trying to isolate him here. No surprises when it comes to ults. Riptire is of course in again, and we also get Last Rites. Whereas on the red team side, we get exactly the talents that we would expect. Horrify is in. I guess the only question mark occasionally is whether we're getting Sundering on Thrall or Earthquake. It's 95% Sundering, but we have seen a few Earthquake plays in this tournament as well. I think it was mostly Cure actually that played with Earthquake. And one factor that might have contributed there is obviously that he plays from North America, cross-server. So maybe the Sundering timings were a little bit off, and if he had a bad ping day or something, then maybe that was part of the reason. But either way, now they go for the potential kill, but Brightwing to the rescue. Horrify was even used here. Riptire is now coming out and gets some damage in. He taps the fountain quickly, but that was a cooldown burned. The Shrine is not active yet, but just gets announced now. They had a good moment though, where they nearly got a kill. 2 stacks for Thrall. That's keeping an eye on him. Gets a third one. Okay, so Ultralisk inching a bit closer to completing his quest, and will try to do that during the next objective. Shrine is active right now, so this is really the moment when you want to get a bit of a head start over your opponent if you can. Actually, it's 3 seconds off. Not quite the timing. There we go. So, get that party started. Play still defending at the top. You can always rotate in. Gavlo is now attempting to take control for the blue team. Bit of a lead. Thrall coming in again. Sundering obviously still up. Horrify not ready for another 20 seconds, but the same is also true for Riptire. Everything else so far is still golden here. So at this point, Poli comes out. Gavlo has the Last Rites active. Could technically try and use it. Play already with his own ult. They're trying to turn it on Dehaka, who came into the backline here. Bunker is out as well. Last Rites, and absolutely unimpressed. Ultralisk is fine. Sundering has been used earlier. Riptire now as well. Horrify is still up. One of the few ults that's still in play and could be used. Red team is slightly ahead on the objective, but not by too much, as Svamgrotta misses a tongue. And it's likely going to be a Punisher for Team Hlopaka. They haven't gotten a single kill yet. Nobody has gotten a kill, actually. Not a single kill in this game so far. And, well, it's level 13 talents in just a second for Team HasuObs. It gives them a bit of an edge. And down at the bottom of the map, we're now also looking at Dehaka again. By the way, Ultralisk missed a wolf during that last encounter, so he's now back down to 1 single stack. Defending pretty well here, actually. It's a bit of a slow move, generally speaking. Slow attack that we're seeing from the red team. Oh, another connect with Brightwing. Able to jump out here. It's again mega cautious what we're seeing from the two teams. And for very good reason, of course. With level 13, we got now Harvest Life right there. So massive heals. You just have to be careful that you're not getting interrupted. And that's actually the one point with the build on Gul'dan where I'm a bit skeptical, because you have interrupts on pretty much every single hero on the blue team. So for Gul'dan to really get good value out of his positioning needs to be absolutely top-notch. And he also needs to play a bit around the interrupts that we're seeing on the other side. So, yeah, can't just simply stand there and go for the big drain. With a few more interrupts, it would be a bit easier for them. He still gets the wave play out. 13 on both sides, of course.
Gul'dan's damage, 10,000, 18,000 for Thrall. But his siege damage is obviously pretty nasty, as you can see here. You get 19,000 for Junkrat. Not too much there either. But once again, they're trying to go for Malthael, and Brightwing is immediately ready. There's the Tongue, and the reaction from Malfurion. But another Stormbolt hits. They isolate Thrall, and Ultralisk. Ultralisk is dead. Same as in game number 1. Ultralisk dies first. First blood, 10 minutes into the game. Team HasuObs with a kill as they are trying to force game number 3 in this series. They have a full 1-level lead now too. Which is of course great. And they're about to take a fort out. And maybe even Hlopaka. Hlopaka's low. Goes for the drain. Does not get interrupted. And is able to save himself. Even with the fort falling. But they were mega close to taking Gul'dan out as well. But obviously with all of the drain talents right now, if you don't interrupt that and you just stand there, then he is gonna drink you dry. Now, half a level until level 16. That's where we're currently at with this. The attack over at the top right now, as they're trying to make a play here. And so far, yeah, it's actually not too shabby. They're getting the camp. They're trying to set that up on the lane. We have level 16 about to kick in for Team HasuObs, and it's really the job of Team Hlopaka now to get their level 16 talent as well. But the timing on the shrine is really unfortunate for them. That's going to be a talent advantage, at least initially, for Team HasuObs. 30 seconds should not be enough to get that. There's a lot of experience down at the bottom of the map, so I suppose that is going to help them to inch a bit closer quickly. But they will need a lot more than that. One more wave at the bottom of the map should be in the cards, but it's 5 seconds until we're there. So they're trying to slow them down, I suppose, with their heroes here. The problem is that they're just losing, like, what? Explain to me why. I mean, now you're definitely not going to get the objective. What was that? Seriously. So they were just waiting over there against an opponent that has a level 16 advantage. Then Thrall gets caught on the way back out. Now they have 16, but they don't have 5 heroes on the map. So, yeah. That's 2 kills now against Thrall. And honestly, I'm not quite sure if the idea was to slow the opponent down as they're going for your objective, to buy a little bit more time to get level 16 and then have an even fight. I suppose so. Or maybe they were hoping that somebody would alone try and take the camp and they can get a quick attempt at a gank and kill. But either way, that backfired heavily. And now they just lost the objective for free. Maybe they can kill the Haka at the top. Yeah, I mean, they should be able to. They're even going for Horrify here just to be safe. So alright, they get their first kill. And as the Arcane Punisher has been claimed at the bottom of the map with a kill against the Haka, they're now trying to go for the fort. But Mirrodin jumps in. They want Jojo now. Jet Propulsion connects, and Johanna is going to likely die as well, together with Brightwing if they're unlucky. So now they're sacrificing a few too many heroes. I am not so sure what exactly HasuObs' team was thinking there either. After the Haka fell, just let that fort fall. There's still pressure that he can exude down at the bottom of the map. But now that allows the red team to slowly bring this back. They're still losing structures. They're still losing ground. They're down 1 fort. But those, I mean, out of the 3 kills against the blue team, 2 were fairly unnecessary. So both of the teams with a couple of questionable choices here, which is again understandable. First of all, you don't have full vision on the map. That's point 1. And second of all, there's obviously a lot of adrenaline kicking in here too. But decisions have to be made on limited information, and that's what they're currently doing here. Team is still pushing up at the top. We have now Gul'dan attacking in the middle. He should be able to catch up a bit on experience now that those minion waves are also being taken out. But Mirrodin wants to slow them down even further. They come in with Thrall, yeah. Reptire against Mirrodin maybe. They can't really force the fight here. They shouldn't also greed for it too much. But the spray game is at least on point. It's not quite an 0-3 they actually had, but yeah, whatever. So, yep, with that we now have still... Oh, Thrall, not again! Yeah, they're not going to get the kill here. But the lick, okay, the lick on Mirrodin, but this... Oh, he's going to go down. Yep, well done. That's a nice last ride right there. I actually thought he was able to escape, but not so much. Still waiting for potential try and play maybe the corridor, but they couldn't get that either. So now they can move towards the top and take that final fort out. It's an interesting series. It really is. We're 15 minutes in and it's 6 kills in total now. Damage output, we have Gul'dan on 22,000. 30,000 for Thrall. 33,000 on Junkrat. Level 20, we're gonna get it soon. At least for the blue team. And I suppose that their opponent is gonna have a good chance of actually, yeah, grabbing their... Oh my god, Blaze. That was actually a move into the wrong direction, you could argue. But he makes it out. There's level 20. The big goal for Team Hlopaka will be to get their own Storm Talons. At least for the next Shrine fight. And honestly, they should be able to pull it off. Need to be very, very careful if they move out on the map, though. 3 stacks for Malthael on his ult, so that means a 15-second cooldown reduction. And Thrall is still not done. I mean, Ultralisk is now sitting at 2 stacks, but we are 15 minutes in and he's still not done with this quest. Gets polyed right there. Yeah, gets a few hits out. But here comes Dehaka, and they are up against level 20. They're taking the fight here. God knows why, but they might get the kill, and they do. They are against the level 20 advantage, and they're still able to win it. Malthael obviously bought back, but the follow-up kill. Johanna is gone, and now we have Storm Talons on both sides. It was a bit of a ballsy move here by Team Hlopaka. They thought they had the better position in the fight, and it actually worked out for them. But that certainly got scary there. So now it's a 4 versus 5 on the map. Stormbolt against Dehaka. A little bit of damage, but not really something that they can capitalize on too much. Still, Jojo being dead for another 40 seconds is obviously pretty neat. Riptire comes out, and they should be able to get a bit of a head start on the objective at a minimum. 5 kills to 3, but oof, they really went for the fight. No matter how good your position is at that point, if you are able to get that isolation kill, fantastic. But considering how close they were to get level 20 just by soaking up minion experience, I gotta say, blue team, or the red team in this case, they really were just like, alright boys, let's go, let's roll the dice on this one. And good for them. They're able to get the kills. And the blue team is actually, they're risking losing a hero by just, yeah, playing it out the way that they do. Hasn't happened, and they get Jojo back, so good for them. Small lead now for the red team at the top already. Gavlo is really hoping to get a kill against Malthael here. Or get those catapults out. That's not happening. And he's not the only one down here. They're down there with 3 heroes. And there's 0 vision, obviously, on the red team now. So they don't know where anybody is. They just know that this is starting to push. Down at the bottom of the map. Nothing is happening there yet. So they're super, super careful with this. And the blue team, they are just playing this very safe. Like, from the red team's perspective, they're thinking they're getting ganked, right? They're thinking they might sit here, they might sit there, they might try to flank up. Maybe they're making a play for the keep at the bottom. But the Team Hasu has already given up on that. They were hoping to get a kill against Gul'dan at the bottom of the map. And if Gul'dan would have moved straight up, that would have been a kill for sure. But he didn't. So now somebody might have to move back in order to deal with the keep here. But they are hoping to get the keep at the top. And I suppose they're just going to let Dehaka take it. This could actually end in a simple trade on keeps. Because they are making the play right there. So, yeah, that keep is going to fall. Up at the top, this one should fall as well. And the hopes of the red team are, of course, to get kills now. They want kills. They want more. They want to have an opportunity to not only get the key, but also end the game here. And there's the follow-up as they go for Malthael. Horrify. And he gets melted. This is the chance for Team Hlopaka to go to the playoffs. Can they get more kills? Sundering has already been used. They still have a lot of ults available, though. Malthael can't buy back, and the bait of the Punisher into the middle. But they want the game. They are looking to see if they can maybe go for the core here. But the Punisher is about to be taken out, and Malthael has now bought back. Malthael is back, and the red team will have to slowly retreat here. They can't fight this on the core. Not in a 5 versus 5. If they can turn it and get another kill, it's a different story. Nicely done by Ultralisk with a little stutter step that we saw from him. But now it's essentially just a trade in keeps. It's a calculated risk that they took. They said, alright, worst case scenario, we're trading keeps. Best case scenario, we're getting kills and we might be able to decide the game here. They could have sent somebody back, but then likely nobody would have lost the keep. So they decided to make the play as is. 6 kills to 3. We're now 20 minutes into the game. 41,000 damage for Thrall. 30,000 for Gul'dan.
Gul'dan is at this point with his build more of a single damage dealer than anything else. But yeah, that was close. I got close for a few moments there. Now, quest is completed for Thrall. I guess better late than never. He made it. But it comes down, like every single kill matters from here on out. Every time that a hero gets ganked, it could be the end of the game. The next shrine's actually good. Well, it's good and bad for Team Hlopaka. It's good because at the bottom of the map, which means that at the top side, the pressure play through mercenary camps and catapults is going to severely threaten the core of the blue team. It's bad. Oh, that's bad. Malthael dying. Uh-oh. I was about to say it's bad because the blue team still has a fountain here, but I think with Malthael now gone, that might be the end of the fountain. They're getting the camp, and now they should be able to make a play for the fort. They might even be able to make a play for Jojo, but nah. She gets the Iron Skin out and is still totally fine here. But you can tell, they are trying to isolate Joanna again, and they get the kill. Team Hasu is getting a bit rolled here. The momentum all of a sudden. The keep of the red team in the middle of the map, that one's in trouble. But so is Svamgrota, and he's all alone right now. All alone and gets out of the fight. Because the jet propulsion doesn't connect. This, on the other hand, needs to be somehow dealt with. I mean, really, somebody needs to move back, and it's Blaze that is going for the defense. So they're getting the fort, which is making the next objective a little bit easier for them. They're trying to take another one out in the middle. This is going to get them way closer in structures. It's actually going to get them nearly even. They are saving also the fort in the middle. Sorry, the keep in the middle. But now we have 8 kills to 3. 2 heroes are dead. Shrine's activating in 20 seconds, and they also want to steal the camp of the opponent. So right there, they're starting to move in for it. They want more kills. If they can kill anyone right now, it would be amazing for the red team. Oh, that would have been a staggered death on the side of Team Hasu. They're just about to get Joanna back, but this one is definitely going to be taken. And I talked earlier about the potential pressure on the top lane, and this is going to increase that even further. Even if that camp is just slowing one of the waves down and eliminates half of it. But down here, Muradin already in position, jumps over, gets immediately poorlied. I have no idea what Play was thinking there. Rewinds, jumps out, and there's the kill. Muradin with an absolute brain fart, in my opinion. He must have seen some of these heroes. He goes in completely alone. Thinks he can survive it, just as the objective is up. I mean, right there, jumps basically into them. I guess he didn't have vision and didn't realize they were all there. He probably thought they were behind him or something. But that was just a big F on the side of the red team. Losing him, massive problem. And now we have a Punisher, and they're going to try and go for game with this. I suppose that the red team is just going to try. I mean, there are two choices. Either just YOLO, or force them to Hearth back and then try and escape yourself. They get the Sundering in, and they get the kill. Dehaka is dead. Dehaka dead, and how do they play it now? Do they try and go back and defend? It's a 4 versus 4 at this point. The fight is a 4 versus 4. Technically, they could try and win it. They could try and win it. Muradin is back in a couple of seconds. Malfurion is in trouble, still on the run. Malf is moving, and he might be able to escape. Maybe not. Oh, Death Knight, and he's dead. Muradin is pulling the Punisher into the middle right now, but the triple catapult has already moved the shield. They need to kill the catapults first. That's exactly what they're doing, but the core is falling, and it's falling quickly, and it's not looking good for the red team. It is not looking good for Team Hlopaka at all here. They're doing their best to defend, but the core is now down to 38%. Big Horrify. Big Horrify, big damage. They're getting close to mustering the defense, but it's not happening. It's too low, too late in the game, and we are going to game number 3 in this series. GG, and well played. Coming up next, we have the 3rd map of the series. If you guys enjoy the content, also consider to head over to patreon.com/Khaldor. Support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene alive there. It's the best way to support the channel. Huge shout out to everybody that is already a supporter. You guys are really helping to keep this alive, and you help us to host event after event for the game here. Especially after Blizzard abandoning this already 7 years ago. It's absolutely fantastic that we're still able to do this here. So big shout out to all of the supporters. And again, if you enjoy the coverage, if you would like to support us, head over there and check it out. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the next game. Well, we're going to the final map. This is what the round robin comes down to. A final map. It is Garden of Terror, and whoever wins it makes it to the next round of the tournament, and the loser drops out. I think Team Hlopaka is probably a little bit annoyed with the performance on the last map, honestly, because they were able... I mean, again, I think if Muradin doesn't die, it's a totally different ball game, and the red team has a good shot at winning it all. To be fair to Play, again, I don't think he had vision. I really think that he thought most of the other team's heroes were on the left side of him and not to his right. So when he jumped, I think he thought, I'm jumping to safety instead of forcing an engage that he didn't want to be in. Now, I might be wrong on this. I obviously don't know what was going on in his head at this point, but or what the communication was on the side of the team. But it just makes no sense to engage like that if you are aware where your opponent is and what they're currently doing. So this might have cost them the game. It very likely did. Now we're heading into the final map, and at least for the blue team, this is obviously a huge relief because they now have a chance to move on to the next round of the playoffs if they're just able to lock in a victory on Garden of Terror, which, by the way, is their map choice. So the red team went for first pick, first ban, and they're immediately grabbing Blaze. Best side laner, for sure, together with the Haka, I guess, and there's the Haka immediately. Another option for the blue team would have been Hogger, of course. They could have taken that as their side laner. In addition to this, we're now having on the bans, Vikings immediately eliminated against the blue team. We have Jojo taken out and Sylvanas. And now the question of how Hlopaka's team is going to play this. Is it going to be Malfurion that we're now getting? Still a great choice here, of course. There's others that would really serve them well too. Rhaegar being one. And there's Rhaegar over Malfurion, adapting to the map a little bit, and they're already getting Greymane for themselves so that they have an easier time getting those mercenaries. So, it's an intense series. It's an insanely intense one, for sure. But right now, what's the final ban that we're now getting? What is Team HasuObs going to get rid of? They could target the front line again. One of the reasons why they banned Jojo is, of course, that Play is playing... They're clearly targeting him. Banning out Johanna means you're banning out Play's most played hero on one of the best heroes for him. Banning out Muradin means you're banning out his alternative. So you're really trying to just attack the hero pool of Play. I mean, it's clearly happening here. It's also with some of the other teams that we've seen before. Can you completely ban him out? I mean, obviously not. But you can definitely take some of his best ones away and force him into an option that he's not that comfortable with, that he's a bit weaker on. And it seems like this is one of the strategies that they have. We've seen Play on Diablo. He could lock him in if he wanted to. Always assuming that the blue team is not taking him for themselves now. But, yeah, Brightwing for the heals. Here comes ETC. Okay, ETC and Junkrat. Yeah, ETC can be very hit or miss. If he is played well, he can be a huge asset to your team. If he gets targeted and starts to struggle, then you can have some problems here. So we'll see how exactly this is going to pan out for the blue team, if that was the best choice. Now it also means that we have the final two picks coming in for Team Hlopaka. They were in the lead in the series. Can they win Game 3? Are they moving into the playoffs? Or is it going to be the blue team? Now, we get Mal'Ganis, and we have Maiev. Ultralis gets his Maiev, and we have Mal'Ganis. Alright, so Mal'Ganis is insanely tough to take down. Has a lot of survivability and can really tee up the team with a few sleeps for kills. And then, of course, you have also the tether from Ultralis. So this could get really interesting here. But right now, we get the final pick on Gavlo. Garden of Terror. The final hit, we come in with Chromie. Ladies and gentlemen, it is party time. Who moves on? Team HasuObs or Team Hlopaka? The blue team on the left with HasuObs, the captain, on Chromie. We got Johan on ETC. Hunter Aug is playing Brightwing for the team. On the final map, we got Svamgrotta on the Haka, and Junkrat is played by Gavlo. ETC on level 1 with a block party, and on the right side of the map, Team Hlopaka starting things up with Death Knight on Rhaegar. We got Ultralisk here with Maiev. We got Erath on Blaze, the captain on Greymane, And Play is playing Mal'Ganis with the Vampiric Aura. Right there. A little more survivability for him, for that extra sustain that he might get. And of course, we are off to the races in the middle of the map immediately. But, yep. Very, very eager to see who is going to be able to take the W here and move on. It's been an absolute nail-biter. Not only the series, but just the path to this particular spot, especially for Team Hlopaka, was already a bit nuts. Yeah, already a couple of garden gnomes right there. It's actually really tricky to spot them. It's a little bit like a Where's Waldo game, and you always have to ask yourself, is it a garden gnome or is it Chromie? And it is very difficult to differentiate between the two of them. They are both pretty much... Oh, that's a kill! Hunter goes down. So, that's Chromie. That's the garden gnome. Just saying. And ETC gets also destroyed. Hello? What? So, ETC is gone too. But damn son, that's a double kill very early on for Team Hlopaka. It seems like they're falling back to the typical aggression that we're getting to see from them in so many instances. So if they can keep that up, then whew, they would be absolutely crushing it. So good for them over here. Now, with that said and done, we have the camps targeted right away. The kills in the early game, not really that big of a deal just yet. Obviously, it's a setback for the blue team. They're losing a little bit of the momentum that they're trying to establish here. But it's not putting them too far behind in experience, but I'm basically trying to say. It will have an impact though. And also psychologically, obviously, it's very different if you're starting into a game with a double kill or if you're the one losing two heroes. Specifically for Team Hlopaka, this is a nice little boost that they have now after they just lost the previous map. So starting this off with 2 kills is already great. And it shows also the aggression and the potential that we're getting from Team Hlopaka. Specifically now that they are using Maiev from Ultralisk, which is of course in and of itself an amazing pick for them. And then they have on top of that Greymane for follow-up, Blaze with that jet propulsion. And you can see them already at the top lane taking these towers down now. So, yeah. Lots of damage here. Lots of early game aggression and a lead in experience as the first seed is spawning at the bottom right of the map. Mal'Ganis going into the might of Sargeras. We have Chromie still sitting up at the top. That's going to be all that burst damage that they are trying to tee up with Holy, with Junkrat traps, with the Haka, and also with the slide from ETC, of course. So right now, still a chance to go not only for the seed, but also for a few additional camps here. Chromie with a proper greeting. The only proper greeting that Chromie is getting from me. Yep, exactly that. Oh, shut up. I know you like it. So, 2 kills to 0. Top side, they go for Brightwing again. Or at least they're trying to. Get a hit in there. They still have Maiev up at the top lane. That might be a different one. But, well, there we go. We already have... I mean, Chromie obviously also great with the vision provided by her the entire time here. So that's another one. But in this case, Ultralisk has to deal with the Siege Shines. Doesn't really want to engage too close to ETC. That could very quickly become a problem. So yeah, I want to avoid that power slide, especially as Chromie is still around for that burst. But then again, we have level 7 about to kick in. The next seed is coming up. One obviously taken by the red team. We have them with a full totem build from Rhaegar as he's doing his thing. And, of course, Elun's Wrath now in. Suppressive Fire. Greymane, Wizened Duelist, I suppose, is going to be claimed. At least that's what I would expect. Has been the weapon of choice in level 7 for pretty much every Greymane that we've seen in the tournament so far. So any deviation away from that would be interesting to see. But not really expected. So they are hoping for the second seed already. And since both teams are now on level 7, the blue team definitely have the tools to go in and try and fight this. But they want to wait for level 10 from the looks of it. So, yep, there's a seed taken. And Greymane is going for the Incinerate Elixir. Okay. Did not see that coming, I gotta say. But, alright. So, going for the cooldown reduction and a little bit more range power here. But that comes in as a bit of a surprise. He was holding it for quite some time, and I was really thinking, okay, what's happening there? But he actually went for a different choice. So, yeah, 2 kills to 0 still. Let's see him stack that up, of course, and trying to increase the damage. Talking about damage. Blaze. Yeah, in some trouble here for just a moment. They get another camp at the top, and now it's a seed for Team Hasu. Or at least that's what I would assume, considering that it spawns on the left side. So we'll see if they're committing to that. Talking about committing, they're not really committing to Swamp Grotto here.
The game has calmed down a bit after the initial aggression that we saw from Team Hlopaka. But now it's all about the camps and about the objective as they're trying to go for it. So, yep. Chromie with the slowing sands here as well. And all at the top. There's the next attack already coming straight back out. With level 10 abilities kicking in on both sides, I still think we could maybe see a fight here over the seed. I mean, imagine it breaking out before or just as level 10s come in. And then they can try and make a move for the seed and maybe even get the first set of Garden Terrors. We already have aggression at the bottom of the map. Blue team is a little bit faster on ults, but now we have them on both sides. No surprises thus far, but the Riptire straight to the face of Blaze. And he's gone. Not even a chance to go for bunker here. He tried, but was interrupted on that. So yeah, no bunker for him. And Greymane still with choices. Same also true for Mal'Ganis. The seed as expected has been taken. And we have now 2 kills to 1. And can they get their camp? And the answer is no. It's going to be stolen by the blue team. Nice. The lick dodged by Ultralisk. Easy Ward of the Wardens there and jumping out. Greymane is going for the throat with level 10. So it doesn't hit the bullet. Go for the throat instead. That's going to give him also a little bit more mobility there, of course. As at the top lane, this is going to pressure for the fort. They're sending Chromie up to deal with it. Seed hasn't been announced yet, but it's going to be a very nice spawn position for Hlopaka. And there it is. So 30 more seconds, and we're going to see the fight at the top right breaking out over the first Garden Terrors. Yeah, it's getting close here. It's getting really close in all of this. Jet propulsion attempt, maybe a bit too optimistic. ETC is still sitting tight. No mosh or anything being used just yet. And with that, they are getting ready for the next seed. And for the potential Garden Terrors. I mean, again, if you grab them right now, you could start pulling ahead a bit. We have slowly also additional damage for Greymane as he obviously gets stacks on his level 7. They're sitting at 2 right now. And, yep, they're not even trying to interrupt this. Garden Terrors are going to come in. Very, very slow play here from all of them. And it's all a question of what they can now do with the objective. If they, for example, get Greymane into a good spot in Worgen form, they could be able to chunk an entire fort down. All that CC on Mal'Ganis all of a sudden. But yeah, still totally fine with this. Top side, I think this one is gone. Yeah, the disc to slow down Junkrat. Dehaka goes down. That's also another setback. So now Dehaka is gone, but what about Meyer? Do they have to sacrifice Rhaegar's Ancestral? And it seems like they can get away even without it. So Ultralisk is moving out down at the bottom of the map. Now that Dehaka is gone, they can easily destroy that fort, which means that very likely 2 forts will be taken out. The one at the top is also mega low, and if it's not the Garden Terror, it's going to be the minion wave that takes it on. So Greymane just pushes further for the bottom keep even. He wants to open the wall up there as they're getting to level 13. Also partly, of course, because Greymane is at the bottom of the map. Another engage from Mal'Ganis up at the top. And yeah, with Dehaka now back, he's trying to defend. But that also means that right now we have the wall destroyed. And they're getting Gavlo in too. It's a little bit of a problem right now for Greymane. He's actually going to die here. Very likely going to get eliminated unless... Nah, Rhaegar is not going to get anywhere close to this. So, yeah, Hlopaka is going to fall. Then again, they got a lot of damage in. The wall destroyed and even the keep down. So, kind of calling worth it here. In an ideal world, obviously, you are able to get out. He stayed probably a bit too long. Was also trying to hide a bit in that minion wave when Dehaka finally showed himself. Because they didn't want to get hit by that lick. But he's back soon, and it's not too much of a setback here. It's 2 kills to 3, and thanks to the objective, they eliminated 2 forts, the wall at the bottom keep, and even some hit points of the keep itself were lost. So not too bad. Nice disc on ETC, as they're trying to go for Chromie. Stasis is in. Can they get the kill? The stasis is always so long, it's nasty. There's the Ancestral, and Chromie unbelievably is able to get out. Thanks to ETC. ETC with a massive save there. That would have been a kill otherwise. The red team is moving back out, but boy, oh boy, was that crazy. Chromie should have died there. 1,000 deaths at least. So right there, look at this. I mean, really, going for the quick timeout. Chromie waddling away thanks to the mosh pit, and nobody is able to get that bit of damage in to take her on. Insane. Huge save from ETC here. Johan with a great play. Now they're coming in with a lick here, trying to escape as well.
Still only 2 stacks, by the way, on the Incendiary Elixir on Greymane. So, yeah, we now have level 15 on both sides. I'd love to take that seat as well. 10 minutes into the game. The final map. Every single kill matters. Every single move. So, yep, as they're going for the next one. They need a couple of team fights also. Again, 2 stacks on the Incendiary Elixir is not too much for Greymane. He needs a little bit more here. We have now Greymane, talking about him, sitting at the top lane. And pushing this back out. They gave the seed up, which actually gets the blue team closer and closer to a set of Garden Terrors. So now the push at the bottom of the map with some Siege Giants is getting stopped by Gavlo. It's also a nice experience for them. Another drag, yeah, and well, there's also the slowing sands. But another slide, and yep, that's the kill. Mal'Ganis goes down. He honestly seemed to think that he would be able to get away with this. The Carrion Swarm here was probably his escape tool. But the problem is simply that once that the Haka is getting his own ult on you, you are just, yeah, you're just gone. So very, very nice move by Team HasuObs as they were able to lock in a kill. And that now could lead to Garden Terrors. They have a numbers advantage for a little bit longer. Unless of, oh yeah, if Ultralisk dies, then even more so. But the Ancestral, well done. There's the Mosh, and in comes the damage, and Ultralisk dies regardless. Very, very nice Mosh Pit. And now they're going even for Greymane, who dies as well. Oh boy. That's the blue team getting more and more momentum on this one. And this is going to hurt. Here's again the escape earlier from Chromie. These are the moments when you miss those kills, then it's obviously a bit problematic and you can't capitalize on them. So now we still have 2 heroes dead as the Garden Terrors are being taken and moving onto the lane. And it starts to become a real problem for Team Hlopaka. So they are on 15,000 damage with Greymane. Just compare that to what we're seeing from Chromie with the 25,000 and from Junkrat with 35k. That's actually big. And also ETC with huge plays throughout the entire game. Every single mosh that he threw out so far mattered in some way, shape or form. Saving a hero, creating another kill opportunity. Now we have a 1 level advantage for the blue team on top of that too. And they're looking better and better here. They're taking the fort out in the middle of the map. Down at the bot lane, we're getting the next little play where 1 fort will fall. And they can also try and take the final one out up at the top. Which I suppose is what we're... Nah, I'm not going to get the entire thing. Actually, as I say that, they're rotating over from the middle of the map. And if they're really committing here, they would be able to grab that. It's a long day. Words are getting a little bit difficult over here. I've been trying to pronounce Incinerated Elixir 3 times now, and I have screwed it up 3 times in a row. Honestly, at this point of the day, my tongue just doesn't follow my commands anymore. I'm not quite sure if you realized it. I shouldn't even point it out. Some people might have not caught up in it. But I smuggled in an additional D every single time. It's actually crazy. And then I tried to prove to myself that I'm not completely stupid and I can still pronounce this even though it's late in the day. And then I screw it up again. So at this point I just simply give up for the day. It's simply gone. At this point it's just over. Another camp taken down at the bottom of the map. They're trying to go for Hunter Hawk and Brightwing gets murdered. Goodbye, Fruitfly. Brightwing gone. Those are the plays that they need to make in order to get back into this. Because now they are officially behind. Team Hlopaka is officially behind here. And it is partly a huge chunk because they haven't stacked the Incendiary Elixir from Greymane. Did you see? I did it again. I did it again. At this point, I just hate myself. I'm going to drown my sorrows in ice cream and chocolate after this one. I swear to God. So, half a level until 20 for Team HasuObs. By now, we're having yeah, camp after camp stolen away here. So not too bad. And at this point, maybe Hasu, he still can't get that kill. Chromie gets saved every single time. Now they're even moving in from the side with play. They really want that kill and they finally get it. I mean, they've really been working on this one. Now they go for Johan. He gets the mosh pit out again, but I think Team Hlopaka has finally had enough. They're taking him down and just drop him like a hot potato. They annihilate the fort. That early level 20 talent for the blue team means absolutely nothing. And this is a problem.
The red team is just pushing this. They're pushing this heavily, and they want to keep 2. And I don't know if they can maybe even get more. If they can get a kill here, can you just imagine them going for the core right away? It's 30 seconds. That's a significant amount of time. And they're trying. If they can get some follow-up kills here, for example, they have a shot. So they want to make the play. Already, they have the disc, but the jet propulsion is on cooldown. Can they still get the Haka? The answer is no. Can they get the core? Not so sure. Big silence play, but there's the bunker. The core is slowly falling, and they lose Rhaegar. That's the Ancestral gone. I'm not sure they can end this in time. It's close. 30, 20%. They're losing Greymane, but they win the game! Team Hlopaka annihilates Team HasuObs and moves on to the playoffs. GG.